Hello again, Seahawk Nation. Welcome back to Season 2 of The Current. I am your host, Dylan Williams, and you may notice that I'm not in my usual getup. That is because this episode is the season finale, and we have a great show for you today as we get to meet two student content creators. We have some tips for students looking to enjoy their summer, and we have a special surprise for you all. Now, let's kick it out to Boyce and Sophie for those summer tips.
Thanks, Dylan. With summer approaching, we are going to give you some quick tips on how to make this summer in Wilmington great. Hitting Wrightsville Beach is one of the most popular pastimes among Wilmington summer residents. Although, parking can throw a wrench in beach plans, especially with the limited space and pricing. Lucky for us, Wrightsville Beach parking is free before 9 a.m. and after 7 p.m., right in time for a quick sunrise or sunset adventure.
During the daytime hours, you will find free parking for your first 2 hours at Wrightsville Beach Park as long as you choose number 3 at the parking meter. You are good to go. The park is also a great place to go for a walk near the beach and enjoy the warm weather.
In addition, after a long beach day, if you find yourself hungry, then you are in luck. UNCW students have access to lots of restaurants that offer food discounts when you use your Student One card.
Some of these restaurants include El Cerro Grande, Islands, Nikki's Restaurant and Sushi Bar, and a lot more. For a list of more restaurants, you can find them in the description box below. And remember, don't cheat yourself, treat yourself.
Hope you all find these tips useful. Now back to Dylan for our main segment.
Thank you, Sophie and Boyce, for those summer tips. Now, I am joined by two UNCW students, and these two aren't regular UNCW students. These two are content creators. To my left, we have Sophia Pruett and Michael Delano. Thank you for joining the show.
Thank you.
Of course.
So, if you may, would you mind describing your channel and the kind of content that you guys create?
Yeah, so I make a lot of vlog videos about my college day-to-day life. I've been doing it since 8th grade, and I just kind of take people through my day. And I also sometimes make different faith-based Christian videos, so it's a lot of fun.
My content's kind of a mix between short films and sketch comedy. It's kind of developed a lot more as I've become a film student, kind of more focusing on that cinematic style to it.
Okay, great. Is there any specific influences that you guys had that inspired you to get into content creation?
Yeah, so growing up, I always loved making videos, and I would just make funny music videos with my friends. And then as I got older, I started watching YouTubers and just different girls my age who would post vlogs, and that's kind of what inspired me to start making my own in 8th grade, and then ever since I've been doing it.
I started out making Minecraft videos. Back in back in 6th grade. It's a time that we forget about. But then I guess it was like 8th grade, I started watching Jack's films on YouTube and kind of started developing a lot based off of him and then building from there my own sense of humor for sketch comedy.
Right. So, let's say, you have an idea for a video, you pick the topic. Afterwards, what does your creative process look like?
Well, for me, it's kind of different every time. I don't always have a set plan on what I'm going to talk about in a video. I feel like my best videos come from just being spontaneous and talking on camera, but I would say that I plan my videos out usually like a month in advance just to stay organized and on track, but I usually don't script them because I feel like it's more natural if I don't.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest, for me, I should probably script them, and I typically don't. And I'll go in and I'll get like a small crew together, someone for camera and stuff along those lines, and then I just kind of go based off of a simple idea. I know where I want to start, where I want to end, and just fill in the blanks in between.
Okay, so here's a bit of a bigger question. How did you become comfortable talking on camera? Because I know there's a lot of people, myself included, who, they kind of struggle from time to time with that. So, and I know for some people it's a long process. So you kind of describe how long it took for you guys.
Well, like I said, I've been making videos even before I started posting them. So I was kind of comfortable already on camera. But if you watch my first video, it is so different from how I act on camera now.
Right.
You can tell that I've just gotten more comfortable. But I don't know, I feel like it just takes practice. You just kind of have to get used to hearing your own voice, and then eventually you'll get used to it.
You make enough Minecraft videos and you just don't care anymore. It very much was, it's the same thing, like you just kind of get used to it. over time, you kind of just accept how your voice sounds, and you look at your older content, and you're like, oh, it sounded so much worse back then, so
Right.
I'm okay now.
So, you know, you kind of alluded to some of the difficulties that you faced as a content creator. What are some of the other ones that you faced?
I think sometimes it can get tricky knowing what to share and what not to share online, especially because I film a lot of my life. So sometimes there are things that I don't want to film, but it's also like a part of my job to film that, so it can be hard to find the balance. But just taking breaks sometimes helps me, which, yeah, that's helpful.
I find that a lot of the time I'll have an idea, and it's not necessarily that it's a bad idea to release the video. It's more like I'll have an idea that I'm like, okay, this is really funny satirical stuff, but I don't want people to end up taking it seriously, and I don't want to pull away from anything else. So in that case, I'll typically, sometimes I'll get through a video and then I'll look at the edit and I'm like, that's not funny. That just, the jokes just don't land, and I'll just scrap that video and then move on to the next idea.
So part of YouTube, and a big part of YouTube and part of its algorithm, is the thumbnail. You know, having a very, attractive looking thumbnail goes a long way for a video. And is there a way that you balance having that without, having it being clickbait?
Yeah, that's definitely been hard for me in the past, especially during that whole season on YouTube where thumbnails were just neon colors and super. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
But for me, thumbnails are one of the hardest part of videos because that's what you need to hook people in. And I end up making sometimes up to 10 thumbnails for one video, so I'm very indecisive. Yes. But it just goes to show it's tricky. You can go so many directions with it. But I try to keep them more natural so they don't look clickbaity, but it kind of just depends on the video.
Right.
And on that, I'll say I've looked at your thumbnails and I've been those are just really solid, because there's also the balance of making sure that you have that consistency there.
Right.
And I definitely don't have that. And so it's I find that for me it's more about reaching out to new people rather than current subscribers, and kind of focusing on that side where I'm okay, this is a little bit clickbaity, or it's a little bit it's not necessarily clickbaity, but it's more just in your face.
Right.
And that's kind of necessary to get that extra click from a new person who might subscribe.
And you guys had alluded to it before. Taking a spontaneous approach, do you feel that kind of helps you? That helps you more, or do you need some kind of base idea? How does that play into it?
Usually I have the base idea before I start filming, but I find that if I script the videos, it just seems scripted and does not seem like my personality.
Right.
So just kind of rolling the camera and seeing what I get from that is what I usually do, because it just feels much more natural and real and just more my personality.
Again, for a lot of my stuff, it's more narrative based, but I occasionally do some commentary stuff. And with that, I am very much the same, where it's just in the moment, I say what I'm saying, and then I cut out half of it, and then that's what I leave. And that's ended up being very successful sometimes for me, because I'll have an idea where I'm oh, I see this trending on Twitter. Now's the time. I need to be the first one, and then I get a video out in 30 minutes.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, that's a bit. I have it filmed in 30 minutes, and then after that, I'm okay, let's do a quick 30-minute, hour edit and just throw it up there.
Nice.
Wow.
I wish it was that quick for me to edit a video.
I can't even fathom that.
That's those few examples where it's okay, 7,000 views somehow. I'm okay. Great.
Yo, that's really crazy. So, so you guys have been doing, making content for a while now. If you could give one piece of advice to aspiring content creators, what would it be?
I would say to just be consistent. That's really what helped me get a start on YouTube. I didn't post every single week for the first 2 years making videos, but once I started doing that, that's when I really saw growth. And also just, you can take inspiration from people, but try to put your own spin on it to just be original and unique, and you'll be good.
I'd agree. Biggest thing, stay consistent, because I've seen the difference between when I'm being consistent and when I'm not. and when I'm not, I'm sad. So, so yeah, definitely just keep up that consistency and kind of make sure that you stay consistent both in your timeline and also what type of content you're releasing so that people stay.
Yeah.
You hear that, guys? Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. Now, last thing, if people want to, kind of get connected to your content, where could they find you?
They could find me on YouTube. Just type in Sophia Pruett and I'll come up.
I'm on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube as MRD Shorts. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, on top of the short films and the comedy, Michael Delano also happens to dabble in magic. And earlier today, we were lucky to have him come on and share some of his tricks with us.
Hello, my name's Michael Delano, and I'm going to be showing you some magic. For my first trick, I'm actually going to ask Sophia if you could come out here. I'm going to do something that you would never expect a magician to do. It's a card trick. So what I'm going to do is, so I've got a pack of cards. I'm going to just let you choose any card that you want out of the deck. Look at it, show it to the cameras, make sure that you know what it is, and then just place it right there on the top. Perfect, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle the cards, mix them up, just like that, tap the top of the deck, and your card rises right to the top, just like that. I can actually take that a step further though. Would you say that that right there is about halfway through the deck? All right, so I'm just going to place the card right in there, just like that, snap my fingers, and it would be crazy if your card were on the top, right? It's not. That would be a really cool trick. But what I can actually do, the 6 is actually your card. It's just disguised right now. I can give it a bit of a snap, and it becomes your card, 3 of spades. Now, I can actually take that one step further again. If I shuffle up the cards, magicians often do what's called sleight of hand. I do something slightly different, and it's called sleight of mouth. So what I'm gonna do, Uh-oh. Folded not once, but twice is your card, the 3 of spades. Thank you for your help. All right, moving on to the next thing. So I just did sleight of mouth. I mentioned the fact that sleight of hand is a big thing for magicians. And what I'm about to show you is something that takes a lot of skill and a lot of practice, and is probably one of the most challenging things that I do. So all I'm gonna need for this is 1 ball. Actually, I need 2 for this trick. Now keep in mind, the hand is not faster than the eye. I'll try that again. The hand is not faster than the eye. Apparently it is. All right, so I've got 2 balls. I'm gonna take 1 more out, making it 3. Math, watch, watch, watch. As it becomes 4, just like that. Now, I don't need this ball, nor this one, nor this one, or that. I think I know how to solve this. I know how to solve this. Thank you very much. That's it.
Now that we have spent the entire semester as a group, naturally, we've learned some things about each other. We've gotten to know our guy Boyce Rucker a bit throughout the season, and recently it has come to our attention that Boyce has never learned how to ride a bike. So, what's a better way to end the semester than with teaching him a new skill?
Look at him. You can just tell he feels his best
He
self
loves
on this
it.
thing. I was just going to say in his element on that bike.
Yeah, I think he likes it.
Well, that's going to do it for another episode of The Current. For the entire crew, I am Dylan Williams, signing off. Have a great summer, Seahawks.
Just say it, let it rip.
No, I was going to say it, but then my brain was working fast enough. I was just going to say in his element on that bike.
Yeah, I think he likes it.
Built different. Built different.
I gotta get myself some